Good, everybody. What's good? What's going on? It's your boy Cal Griffin here again. We back. We took a little break, but we back. Back at it with another edition of Legends Talk. Legends Talk, man, a platform where legendary individuals from all different walks of the basketball community, you know what I'm saying, can come together just to talk about basketball. And our guest today, very special guest, Joe Cruz Jr. of Hoops in the Sun, the world-renowned basketball tournament. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? With no further ado, let's check my guy in. Let's check my guy in.
I had to get right.
Mr.
Okay?
Cruz, Mr. Cruz. Joe, what's up, Joe? How you doing?
What up, family? How you doing?
I'm chilling, man. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm family's good. Health is good. Thank the Lord. Shout out to Soul Pack.
Oh yeah, shout out, definitely got to shout out the sponsor.
Yes,
Shout
sir.
out to Soul Pack. They they got some hot stuff coming off the presses over there, man.
Sure.
Their bags are impeccable, so definitely go out and check out Soul Pack, man. Soul Pack, the sponsor for Legends Talk.
No doubt.
But
Shout out to my brother Randy Cruz who just checked in. It's my bro, big time.
oh, hey man, shout out to everybody on the check-in, especially
Yes.
Randy.
Yes.
Especially Randy, because we couldn't do both people. You know, Instagram got to get their act together. But once we do, man, we got to get all three of us on the line together.
No doubt. That's in the works. But
Yeah.
I'm good, man. Family's well. Thanks for asking. Still working from home remotely on my regular job. Blessed to have a job. So I know stuff is really tough out there.
Yeah.
Mom is good. Randy's good. Trying to stay active in our communities. Trying to stay relevant in terms of basketball, but also giving back to our communities that are taking a big hit right now. So
Right.
Plains, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying? I took a little bit of a break for, Legends Talk.
Me too.
Just because, I just needed that clarity, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, we back, man, with the legend. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not that word yet, man. So
the legend, yeah, now you up there, man. When you get, when you hit that 20th year mark, man, in the arena that you're in, you definitely are a living legend, man. Yes, Randy included. You guys have transcended what New York City basketball means. And, for that, I definitely have to show you that respect and, and give you your flowers, man. You're still with us, so I definitely gotta shout you out, give you those flowers while you're here, man.
Well, I appreciate you, man. And I'm not used to the word legend, but I'm hearing it more often than none. And I'm still humble, and everybody knows me. I'm a humble cat.
Nah, of course.
Being on this show, I mean, actually, I'm gonna tell you a secret. It was actually one of my wishes to be on this show. So I was like, okay, let me see what man got for me. But I took a break from doing my podcast, which is the Commissioner Corner, who I do.
Yeah.
BG from LES Express. Shouts to my boy.
Shout out to BG. Yeah, we're gonna get into all of that.
Let's do it.
Yo, Joe, again, thank you, for coming on board with us tonight, and just to kick it off, man. You host one of the one of the kind of renowned tournaments in the New York City area for over 20 years now. Started with your dad. Can you just give me as well as the viewers a little bit of color on what the Hits brand means to you and what that vision that Pops had for the brand.
No doubt. So yeah, man, my dad had a vision in 1999. Prior to that, not many people know, but my dad was close friends with Earl the Goat Manigault. He run the Earl the Goat Manigault tournament on 99th in Amsterdam. And with that being said, he went to Benjamin Franklin, which is now Manhattan Center.
Mm-hmm.
Them two cats used to run together in the streets, do all that craziness, and they became boys, and then they disconnected, and then they reconnected back in the late 1990s. My dad was kind of exposed to basketball. He saw that there were things going on with street basketball, and then he actually was linked up with Ray Diaz at the time, who was the commissioner for Nike Pro City back at Hunter, and then Baruch, and then now, which is now at Columbia. So my dad always had a dream of, basketball was his love. He used to be a track star back in Rice High School, believe it or not. And when that came about, my dad, got all this wealth of knowledge from those two gentlemen, and and rest in peace to Earl the Goat and Ray Diaz in terms of this information that he was able to get. And then my dad saw that there was a amount of people coming out to these events. It was like a reunion every time these events would come together. So my dad, wanted to create his own lane, and without knowing what the lane was going to be. So after several years of working with Earl, the Goat Manigault, and being the assistant to Ray Diaz at Hunter College, he was able to kind of really develop information and resources and people together to, hopefully do a tournament. So I'll stop it there. And then now, 1999, my dad was the senior sales manager for Jennifer Convertibles. So he'll be the one that would travel to different states of anybody that's coming new to the company. He would have to train them. And if they don't get trained by my pops at the time, you wouldn't get hired.
You ain't official.
No, he wasn't official. So the one thing about my dad was a major salesman, right? So he could sell water to a well like that, right? And that's the gift of gab that I kind of learned from him over the years. So with that being said, 1999, he went to California. He had a couple of days in California. He was doing his work, and then on one quick night, he took a walk to Venice Beach, California. So there was a tournament on the beach, Venice Beach. And then my dad called me at the time. No cell phones back in those days. So let you know that. So
Probably had a calling card. Probably had a calling card at that time.
Probably had a two-way pager. I don't even know what went down. I don't know how it went down, but he called us. He checked in as he always does, and my dad was married 37 years to my mom, so it was always that connectivity with family. So that's really what the base of Hoops and Son is about, is family. So my dad called me and Randy and said, "Yo, man, I just stopped by Venice Beach, man. This is super dope. I think we could do something with this." And then at that time, I'm like, "Dad, we don't know anybody. Like, we're not in the basketball world. Like, I'm still at Lehman, trying to play ball, trying to go overseas.
Right.
Still finding himself, and we were young in the game." And then my dad's favorite hangout spot was Orchard Beach. And at that time, Orchard Beach was going through a lot of renovations that kind of mirrored how Venice looked. Not as pretty, not as laid out.
Right.
Like the layout.
He saw the vision, though. You got to see the bones. You got to see the, when like somebody in real estate, they see the actual house before it even gets built.
Absolutely. So he saw something that I didn't get to see till after he passed away, respectfully. So he came back with this idea, said, "Listen, I'm gonna do a tournament. I got all the information. I know people." I said, "Okay, Pops, I don't know which way you're going, but So he said, "I'm gonna do it at Orchard Beach." As a kid, I used to go there, to do the water. I mean, the water, was worse back in the days.
Right.
All the amenities, just getting away. It was like a mini Puerto Rico. So, us being, Latino, he wanted to get back. And he was like, "Joe, I want to do Orchard Beach. I want to do it." So, Cal, I tell you, man, I was like appalled. And then my dad came back to the city, had meetings with the Parks Department. He had meetings with, at the time, was our marketing consultant, Jared Lee. And kind of met people in place and kind of really figured out how to be in this space of basketball.
Shout out to my guy Jared. He's still doing his thing.
Yeah, man. So at the time, you got to think about it. It was Kingdom. It was UDC, West Fourth. Like all these tournaments were like really at their heyday.
Right.
for us to be competitive, you know, we didn't know which lane we were going to be. So at the time, he got to the parks department. He told them this, you know, hey, I'm bringing Latinos and everybody together, minorities. I'm bringing everybody here to this paradise. It's a hidden paradise that nobody speaks about. Nobody respects it as a beach, and nobody respects it as a platform. I'm going to be the one to be the trendsetter.
Mm.
Knows Jones Beach, Robert Moses, and Rye. And he kept saying, "Why nobody come to Orchard?" And at that time, Orchard wasn't really known for what it is known now.
Right.
You know, it was more about like
Willie Colon and
yeah,
them guys
yeah,
doing
it was more gritty back in those days. It wasn't laid out. The landscape was still raw.
Right.
Those kind of people that would always have trouble and look for situations to get into. But at that time, Orchard was making a lot of renovations that mirrored Venice, and my dad said, we're going to do it. So he got the permit. Like the week before we put the start, the permit came in. We went to the courts. It was like a steel backboard, double rim. And it was really at its lowest. And then my dad had a vision to make this the East Coast Venice Beach. And then that's what happened. And then from 2004, about 4 years span, my dad really elevated this tournament. We're making renovations to the courts, from court restoration, basketball, backboard, backboards, rims, bringing teams in, players, and I'm seeing this like, whoa. And at the time, I'm still playing, so I wasn't really doing what I'm doing now, and my brother was still young enough to kind of really see where things are going.
Right.
Tell you, Cal, like, I sat back, I said, oh man, this is
yeah, we live now. We in business.
We started with 8 teams at the time, with only 8 men teams. And then every year we added a division. I think the second year, if I'm not mistaken, was the women's league. And then we started to expand upon more of the adult basketball.
Right.
And we were known for that. And then my dad unfortunately passed away in 2004 and put me in a position, kind of forced my hand to decide if I want to do this anymore.
God bless Pops, man. Pops.
I mean, that is my idol, man. There's not one day I don't go by to think about him, and I hope that, he's proud of what we've done.
Right.
I know it is, but I just, you always want to hear that voice one more time.
Yeah.
Last. So for him, he was everything. Like, he was a man to people, a great father, a great husband, a great entrepreneur. He was I don't take away names, but he was a visionary person. You know what I'm saying? And he saw things before I seen them.
Right.
04 was a bad year for me. Actually, our team, our home team, we had like a house team. Which I played with. I mean, these guys are out my class, but I'm not in their class. But like Junie Sanders and Danny Basil, and I mean Smush Parker, Strickland. I mean, a plethora of legends.
Right.
Those are legends. And the year after 05, I wasn't going to do the tournament. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna ask you that. At any time, any point, did you just feel like, listen, I don't want to do this anymore? You know what I'm saying? I'll hang it up. I'll walk away, whatever the case may be. Were there any points in your time period did you feel that way?
All the time. I mean, that 04 to 05 year was really tough for me, because you got to understand where I'm coming from, right? Like, I'm still 20-some years old, trying to find out my basketball career, and I wasn't ready to be no CEO. I was trying to really chase my overseas, dreams to go play in PR and do things for myself at the age, and I have a major responsibility.
Right.
And this is where Randy comes in. Randy was crucial to me in that point, because, Hoops in the Sun means a lot to us in many different ways. And for Randy, it gave him a gateway to open up and be himself.
Right.
By playing the backstage.
Right.
I'm supposed to be the face of it, but I don't do all this stuff here. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, that's Randy. Yeah, everybody don't know that.
And I don't care who hears it tonight. I don't care. Randy Cruz is the backbone of Hoops in the Sun, that's for sure.
Nah,
I have to be the face because that's what Dad did, and that's what we did for him as kids to kind of support him. So 05 came, and I'm like, yo, I don't want to do this. I don't think I'm ready for this. I'm still playing with the guys I'm trying to have respect for as a commissioner. And this a year, this a year apart. It was like, how can I tell Junie and these guys, yo, you got to be on time for a game?
Right.
Saying I'm still a kid.
Right.
I don't know if I had that kind of respect in the game yet, you know what I'm saying? And I was living behind my dad's shadow with all due respect. And my brother told me one time, he said, yo, this is our calling. This is what we got to do. This is a family business, and you got to do it.
he laid that down for you. He laid that foundation for you.
Why you put me involved? I don't want to do this. And he was like, because you know the game. You know business, and you know people. You know how to speak. You know how to get to this corporate America. And I'm like, I don't know these sponsors. I know them from my pops. So
Right.
What helped me that year in 05 was all the sponsors we had the years prior, and especially in 04, they all gave me a call and said, you got to do this. And we're going to support you.
Yeah.
That put the battery in my back, to say, you know what?
I can do it.
You know what I'm saying? I was still nervous. I was apprehensive. I was shitting my pants. But the overwhelming responses from the sponsors and the players and the community was just, now I know why he did it for me. And
right. And you have his name. So, you know what I'm saying? You have to step right into that.
People don't know this. I'm going to drop it on your show.
Oh.
My dad's name was not Joe Cruz.
Oh.
My dad's name was Rufino Joseph Cruz.
Mm.
He named me Joseph Rufino Cruz
Jr.
So my dad named, he changed it to Rufino Cruz.
Hey, I'm in the same boat. I got the same situation with my dad.
Why. He was like, it was named after a bottle of wine with 2 F's. I just used 1 F. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
They know him as Pops. His nickname was Pops. His nickname was Joe. He named me, I was evidently became Joe Cruz Jr., and that's what it was. And that's the reason.
Now you mentioned a lot of the other tournaments that were going on at this time, right? The Kingdoms.
Yep.
You had Ray Diaz doing his thing. Ray Diaz is legendary.
For sure.
First and foremost, Ray Diaz. I remember the Ray Diaz tournament and just a plethora of other things that he was involved with.
Right? 102nd in Amsterdam.
Yes, sir. But and every tournament has its own kind of flavor, if you will, right? What kind of flavor did Hoops in the Sun bring to the New York City basketball landscape at this time?
I think Hoops in the Sun at that time gave an opportunity for people that was in the inner city neighborhoods to come out the neighborhoods to see an ambiance or a landscape that's no other. That's why Orchard is so special to me, because I salute every tournament that does it well and does it on this landscape now, but it's on the blacktop inside neighborhoods or communities. And as much as that's core to grassroots, I think for us, we were a little bit street ball and a little bit pro city. Right? So people always named us as the outdoor pro city.
Right.
We emulated the NBA. We emulated professionalism. We emulated what encompasses to a program. We wanted to be respected like that. So I think for me, it was about changing the narrative to being street ball, but also having a professional flavor to it, and it'd be respectable, but also be a high quality tournament. So for that being said, the beach, the ambiance, the view, the environment makes it very unique, as opposed to other tournaments that might have a more condensed neighborhood feel.
Right.
We had a more open beach, and bring your family, bring your coolers, bring your drinks, you can make a day out of it, as opposed to people going to game one time. Going to a tournament for 1 or 2 games, they go home. People for us, they get to 10 o'clock, watch a kid game, and come back at 1 o'clock, watch a men game, go to Sand, have a couple sandwiches, do what they do, and then come back for another game. So I think for us, we had a plethora of options for people from all types of different communities and neighborhoods and boroughs to kind of experience.
Right.
About and what Hoops in the Sun entailed.
Nah, that's all. That's what's up, man. Shout out to Cha-Ching.
Sure.
Shout out to everybody on the check-in, man. Everybody, Truck Brian on the
Yes,
check-in.
sir.
Everybody that came through the to show love.
Appreciate
But just kind of moving forward, you guys managed to have a lot of success in a very condensed short period of time around that golden era of street ball. What do you think the recipe was, to kind of establish that level of success that you guys had?
Well, I mean, when I became the co-CEO, I decided to go to other tournaments to kind of see what they're doing so well and make it my own, right? I don't take blueprints and do the same thing.
Right.
What I've always learned is like you have to evolve and you have to be creative. You have to be one step ahead and you have to, you have to deliver a product with enough content for them to be like, I got to come back. And
Right.
what we provided was 2 courts, beach landscape. I know it's hot as hell, but you got a great breeze. Bunch of people from all types of the world. It's a melting pot. You had women there. You had volleyball, handball. There was so much to do. So I think for me it was about taking what I learned from other tournaments, my forefathers like West Fourth and Dykeman's and Fireball and I mean Kingdom and EBC and all these tournaments, what they mean to people. I took that and said, you know what, let me create my own what it means to be Orchard. And for me, it's about family, man. It's about making sure you feel welcome, making sure you feel as a pro, making sure you feel like you have an opportunity to exploit your talents at the highest level on the beach, man. It's just a beautiful combination. So, and I'm biased, right? I'm an Orchard Beach fan, so I'm biased. So I just love being there because I played there, so I know what it is to play in it. I know what it is to be a CEO. I know what it is to be an executive. So it just gives you a lot of variations of what you want in a day besides basketball. And I think that Orchard Beach is a lifestyle, not just basketball. It's a lifestyle.
Right. Shout out to BG on the check-in also.
Commissioner Corner.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you guys, are you currently sponsored by any big companies or anything like that? I know you guys went through a couple different avenues as far as sponsorship is concerned. Are you currently working with any of the larger companies? I asked you to because that kind of leads into my next question.
Well, this year we had our returning sponsors. We are looking for an apparel sponsor. That was my major goal and objective. But for us, we had we had great sponsors in place. I don't want to say it, but I'll go with the ones that I know that I really have a relationship with. So like the Yankees, Macy's, Mountain Dew, Red Bull, and other small companies that would help us out. And then my goal was to kind of make sure that we get these sponsors to kind of invest in our tournament. But the biggest thing for us is to locate a para sponsor, which was in the works. But we, of course, with COVID-19 hit, everything stopped at a halt. And I kind of felt this would have been one of our best years. And I know you're probably saying, "Damn, you had a few of those."
Yeah.
I'm always looking for the next hit. I don't want to sound like that, but the next hit, like I wanted more NBA presence. I want my kids to be impacted, man. And and I'll go into this piece. We started with 8 teams. We're at 60 teams. So let's think about that, right? Just like 8 men teams, and now we have 60 teams, and 50 of those teams are all youth, from 10 years old to high school, and we only have 8 teams in the men's league. So our men's league was the foundation that allowed our kids to kind of have a platform, and now the kids are now the platform to now play as a building block to our men's league.
Right.
So I wanted to kind of take that opportunity to say that because nobody knows the grind better than me. Is when I seen 8 teams from steel backboards to double rim to 2 courts to outdoor LED scoreboards and score tables and shot clocks. It's like going to an outdoor NBA, and that's been our focus ever since.
Right. Now, Now, after being sponsored by some of the larger companies, um, and actually doing both, doing the big partnerships as well as doing it yourself independently. What benefits do you think that being an independent tournament with no sponsors, what benefits does that give somebody who's trying, starting out, or maybe just doesn't have any sponsorship available at the moment?
I'll give you this. It's like leasing a car, right? If you have sponsors that are not willing to work with you, you become a lease.
Mm.
If you want to invest in yourself, you have to buy. So for me, it's about if I'm put my money all on myself and I lose, I can't blame nobody. I got blame
Right.
myself. But I think that with me, and you notice more than anybody else, like I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna find a way, and I'm gonna persevere to that because I know how much I'm worth, and I know how much these words behind me mean.
Right.
It's about finding the right person, the right sponsor to kind of really go hand in hand with that. And I think now, as I got older, it's not chasing the sponsor; it's trying to figure out the right sponsor that fits you. And I think that for me, I'd rather take myself and invest in myself and allow myself to grow by myself. I know you got a little person. I know you got your little man back there.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. Say what's up to Joe.
What's up, man?
Say what's up to Joe and the people.
How you doing?
Say what's up. He said very well, very well.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. Go to mommy. Go to mommy.
So,
Yeah.
For me, it was just, I'd rather invest in myself so nobody could tell me otherwise. And once I do it by myself, for me, I know how to do it by myself. I would go that route because once you make it from the mud and do it by yourself, nobody can tell you nothing how to do it.
Right.
And to protect this investment here, nobody can tell me what to do in terms of how to run hoops in the sun. I dictate that. So it's about protecting your property, believe in your product, but also you want to align it with the right sponsor and the right people.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So now let's talk about COVID-19 a little bit. For a lot of people, COVID-19 has been a blessing in disguise. All right. For you specifically, the Hits family, we would love to have seen some basketball this year. You're saying that it probably would have been one of your best years, and I feel terrible about that. But in terms of it possibly being a blessing in disguise, what do you feel? How do you feel that this time off has helped the brand and helped you personally?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked me that. I think for me, COVID-19 is devastating for everybody. First and foremost,
right.
There's been lives lost and jobs lost, and
right.
going through pandemic and racism in this world. So
right.
Came out one shot.
right.
But for me, the blessing in disguise is I'll tell you, my man O Patino, Amali's father, Elliot. We spoke about this before, and then he was like, "You needed a break, man. You need a break. Like you did 20." Money in my pocket, money for sponsors, meetings, running around, trying to get the best teams, the best this and that. Like for me, it was a good shutdown to reevaluate what I'm gonna do now, right? So for me, what have you done so well in 20 years, and how do you make the next 20 better? And I'll tell you this: the last 20 years I've done was honoring my dad's legacy and continuing that. Now, what I learned in COVID was, and I told Raina this, I said, when is it going to be us making our own legacy? How are you going to look at us as Joe, Randy, Cruz? And again, Pop's always going to be there. And I did 20 for him, and I'll continue doing it. But I want to make sure that people respect us in the platform, the next 20, that it's our way, and it's our vision, and it's our legacy. Because I know what it is to live my dad's shadow. I've been living it all my life. I want to know what it is to live my own life in terms of the tournament, in what I can do for people, what I could do for my community, and what I could do for these kids that need our help. So for us, it's just kind of reevaluating that. It gave us time to redirect our energy in terms of how to improve our youth leagues, how to improve our men's league, how to improve the overall improvement of the park, how can we expand, and just have those thoughts about those things as opposed to living in the past. I'm gonna close that chapter, and I'm gonna start my new chapter, and that's gonna be my my next 20.
No, that's a tough answer, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that motivated me, man. I got chills down my spine right now. I think about just go time, being go time, and taking this this time. It's sort of like the after post COVID, a new normal. So we have to get used to some things, but I think that moving forward, I think it was a good, like you said, a good time to just take a breath, gather yourself, and for the next, like you said, for the next 20.
It is, and I tell everybody, I said, if you don't take advantage of COVID for what it's worth and don't come with an idea or be creative, you just lost time.
You wasted it, yeah.
Wasted time. So take it with a grain of salt for what it is, but also understand your calling is to move this agenda forward. How are you going to do it? And my thing is figuring out what that is, but also adding to it when 2021 hits. I'm going to, trust me, I got so many things on my sleeve. It's going to be like, people would say this is regular. It's not. Now this is my dream and my thoughts and my creativity.
Right.
Moving this agenda forward for the next 10, 15, whatever, how long I'm going to. I done quit every year. So I'm just saying 10, 20, I'm giving everybody the opportunity to take advantage of 10, 20 years of me left. I always quit every year. The first year I didn't quit because I didn't have no tournament. And I was telling Randy, I said, damn, it's August. This would have been playoff time.
Right.
This would have been like scheduling and cancellations. I'm like, I don't got to deal with none of that stuff, man. I can focus on me, focus on this, and just bring it all together and definitely hit a home run, hopefully the next 5, 10, 15 years left.
No, that's a fact, man. Now, I mean, I did notice that you guys had some things going on with respect to not only you doing the podcast with BG, the Commissioner's Corner, but you guys also been running. More recently, you guys been running like a skills and drills kind of situation for the youth. Is there anything else that you guys kind of been doing to kind of sharpen your knife and to stay busy during this time?
Yeah, so like I told you, if you're not being creative in COVID, you're not gonna hit in 2020. You're not. I think for me, when COVID hit, I was trying to really stay basketball relevant, keep conversations about basketball and street ball alive, hoping that COVID would kind of subside where we could do our tournament. That never happened. So me and BG had a conversation about, having, it would be a great idea to have 2 commissioners just talk about basketball, talk about NYC basketball, street ball tournaments in a positive manner.
Right.
Often to us really getting a platform of people to really talk about their stories and talk about, like you said earlier, giving them the flowers, right? Because that's the one thing I realized in COVID, nobody get a chance to really tell you how much I appreciate you. Because we're always doing shit.
Yeah, so we're always on the run. Everybody on the run.
And it's like even me and you, it's hi and bye. I love you. I'll hit you later.
Yeah.
Give you the flowers that you deserve because we need more people like you in this industry because it keeps it alive. And that's the point of my legacy, right? Me, Kenny Stevens, Mousy, Rick Rivers, BG, Kenny Graham, Park, Visionary, Taching. It's all about creating to keep the industry alive. Our forefathers gave it to me, and I got to give it to them. I'm not getting any younger, as you can see. So I got to make sure that we have people really pushing the agenda forward. But in terms of, so that came about, and then we decided, it was actually BJ's idea. We had a conversation and said, it would be dope that we can have these IG Live. Because at that time, IG Live was popping. Like, it was like every day.
Yeah.
man, I'm like, why don't we just do an IG live together on some random stuff, and we just have conversation about basketball, and then we had like people pop in, and like yourself, and like Truck, and Isaiah Whitehead. I'm like, whoa, this is big time.
Yeah.
We started doing interviews like, how you doing now? And then VG said, yo, this is like the commissioner corner, man. I'm like, that's kind of hot. Let's do it. I mean, we had so many interviews. My favorite one was my last one with Smush. Heartfelt one I had, because that's my boy, and I've seen him grow, and that is what the commission corner is. It's about a platform to tell you, to kind of give you the flowers, but also give you the platform to tell the truth about your story and that person's journey.
Right.
In regards to that, so we are now getting the business up and going. Me and BG are now getting stuff trademarked. We're getting the business rolling. We got our logos. We got some T-shirts coming out. So we're trying to really kind of push this forward to see how far we can go. So we're going to relaunch in the fall, or probably late summer, early fall, once the summer's over. And then once the summer hit, I was thinking about how to stay active, right? And after B. Diddy passed away, God rest his soul.
God bless him.
And the other people that passed away, and this whole gun violence and this racism, I was like, this don't sit well with me. And me being a community activist, I had to find a way to do something. Whatever it was, with the restrictions or limitations, I said, I need to try to do something. So, Randy, again, in the think tank, and we had an idea. He said, we never really utilize the beach for what it's worth, right? We don't do any work with the sand. We don't do any work with the volleyball court. We don't use the courts.
Yeah.
And let's just do the summit. I said, the summit? What's that about? And he was like, a freaking obstacle course. And for kids to kind of work in the games and keep them active and keep their tools sharp and keep their games right. And now that PSAF or high school basketball not starts in January, God forbid, how do you keep the kids on the street? How do you keep them active? So I talked to a plethora of coaches and instructors that I know. I honestly can't be in front of it because I don't, I'm going to keep my permanent and my integrity to the business.
Right.
So I'm organizing it from afar, but I'm letting the coaches and instructors do it with the proper precautions that's needed. So mask, hand sanitizing, water, gloves, 6 feet apart. So those things are in place. So I'm so excited for this, man. This is something that I never really did before in my life. It is so fulfilling to see kids from the tournament and other tournaments and random kids from neighborhoods that come in there and trust you to, with their kids, or trust them to work out with you for 2 hours in the extreme heat and having the proper precautions in place. I mean, it's been a blessing in disguise. So we're going to continue doing it, and we're trying to find ways to kind of be more innovative with that. So I'm answering that question, but the summit has been a home run, and that's another one of Randy's ideas, and I'm speaking on his behalf.
Hey, everybody, check out the summit over at Hoops in the Sun. You know what I'm saying? If you guys have kids, definitely look into it. Great guys. Yo, Joe, I gotta say that since day one, you know what I'm saying, you've been, you show nothing but love, you know what I'm saying, since very day one, and even to the point where it had me nervous for a second, like, yo, who's this guy showing me so much love like this, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I have to tip my hat to you as an individual, your brother Randy, as well. You guys, have kind of welcomed me with open arms. Took what I've done, embraced it, and I really am appreciative of everything. Today actually marks 4 years that I started on this journey. And yeah, man, you've been there rooting for me, cheering me on.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because you look like me. You are me. You just have a different platform.
Right.
If I support you and I don't push you to be great, you're gonna get lost in the shuffle. And you're not the kind of guy that want to be lost in the shuffle.
Right.
You're a trendsetter, and I seen your grind and I see you hustle, and I'm like, I gotta motivate you to understand that I'm gonna let you know that I realize the work that you do.
Right.
Because I'm not saying anybody. I'm just saying other people don't really respect the grind that you guys go into in terms of video, pictures, or production, whatever it takes to kind of our tournament. You guys are doing us a favor, so why not show the same love back to you?
Right.
Because you're giving us more promotion than we ever wanted. So for me, it's like I don't want to use you. I never did.
Right.
I want you to be great together, and that's why I always show you love, because that's how my dad taught me.
Right.
Like, if I'm gonna be a legend in this game, I gotta respect my forefathers and the ones below me, so they don't feel like inferior to us. And I feel sometimes people have that attitude that they're the best shit in America, and that's probably true.
Right.
That's not with me, right? For me, it's like, Cal, what's up, baby? I appreciate you, man. All things hoops is the shit. Let's do this.
Right.
Crazy. I want to let you know I appreciate you, and I recognize real stuff. So, that's the reason why.
No, I appreciate that, and also like you were just saying, you know, just from my observations, you do that with not only myself, but you know what I'm saying, with everybody, and so I want to tell you that I observe you, you know what I'm saying, in terms of the type of person you are, you know what I'm saying, whether it be the key visions, you know, the Ike Garys, you know what I'm saying, visionary, shout out to visionary.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying, Cha-Ching, you know what I'm saying, just numerous guys that you've kind of embraced, you know, Mike Larry's, to the just everybody that you've come in contact with, has the same, you know, has the same story, and we have to, you know, hold you up to this you know, hold you up on this pedestal, man, like, you know, and it's not just because of we're on this platform speaking and whatever the case may be, because I'll say this on a conversation with just you and me, and you know that.
Of course,
but,
conversations, and I thank you for that, because I want everybody to know I don't do this. I don't. My humbleness and my attitude to people is not fake. I want everybody to succeed, man. And anybody that comes through my tournament or my life, you know, you never guarantee tomorrow. And I don't want them in my grave saying, man, this guy's an asshole, man. This guy's full of shit. I want everybody. I want the whole city to come see me when I'm gone, to let them know, like, this is what unity is about. This is what people's about. This is what we should learn from our mistakes, you know, pre-COVID, of how to become better people and be more humane.
Humanity, right.
Be humane, because I want the same respect back. I know people want me to use me for certain things, and I don't want to come across that way. But if we could do it together, that's how we do business, right? And then I learned that from my pops, man. My pops told me, if you want to be treated the same way, you got to show the same respect back.
Right.
That's been at my core, whatever I do. So I appreciate you, you know, pointing out. I can see a lot of people here that show me love. My Little Boss 926, thank you. Sam Ballers, Bryce. I mean, listen, I do this from the bottom of my heart, man. Basketball has allowed me to see open so many doors for me, man. I can call you tomorrow and be like, I'm going here. It's like all through basketball. But what you get out of it is how you treat people. They don't forget. You need something, they're there for you. But when they there for you, they're there for you. And I never take that for granted. And I won't, because that's who I am. I'm Joe Cruz. I'm just one of a kind.
What's the biggest misconception about you, Joe?
That I'm not confrontational. I don't get into beef. I don't fight. I don't get into controversies. I don't. That shit don't turn me on, man. I stay to myself. I have a core group of people that I stay close to, which is my Hoops in the Sun staff. My best friend is Kendrick from Av Life, and my brother's been, you know how he is, you know how Randy is with me. So I keep it tight, man, and I protect myself. And misconception is sometimes I can be, I don't know, people say I've been a little shiesty sometimes. I've been a little I guess because I say no, because I'm always no problem.
Can't be, yeah. One time you say no.
You gotta be different on me. You acting crazy, and it's like you can't be too good because you take advantage of it.
Right.
I think for me it was like I was always not a yes man, but always trying to find a way to compromise. And I think for me, I learned this business, like sometimes a no is a no, and I guess it's yes. And as long as you don't, nothing trumps this right here. Nothing will ever trump that. And I tell everybody, if it's going to trump this, I'm going to say no. If it's about the people, I'm all about it. But nothing will take, not even me.
Right,
Nothing will trump that.
Right. This ain't even mine. I gotta protect this by all costs. I gotta protect this.
Oh, and somebody and my boy Bernie said people think that he's stuck up. So that's a misconception.
Shout out to my guy KO, man, on checking LaSalle Academy in the building.
What's good? Yes, LaSalle. Yeah, I went to LaSalle Academy, so that's my high school. I went to high school with Shamgard and
you played right behind Sham, right?
I was a bull. I was a bull boy. I was giving him up. I knew. See, think I'm in tune with my skills. I know what I could do and what I couldn't do. Those guys, I mean,
they're on another level.
That was Felipe and Kareem Reed and Eddie Leesma, and those guys are elite. And I was like, yo, listen, I'll be a varsity player, and I'll rebound for you and support you. So I'm in tune with the reality. And some people say I'm stuck up. I'm just in tune with reality, and I don't deal with the bullshit. I don't.
Yo, Joe, what's the hardest part of your job, man?
The hardest part of what, like in the tournament or?
Yeah. What's the hardest part of being Joe Cruz, co-CEO of Hoops in the Sun?
The pressure that come with it. Like, there's not one place I don't go that nobody knows me. And it's like kind of hard to, like I'm on, dates and with people. I'm like, yo, Joe Cruz. It's like, so I think for me, it's always, I have to realize I'm always going to be seen as this person and accepting it. Because sometimes I just want to be Joe Cruz and hide. But like Randy said, nah, man, you a GOAT. You ain't gonna hide. People know you. So I think that for me was just like one thing that I would say that if I can hide for a few hours and get my own reality in my own time, I think that's the hardest thing I struggle with, is trying to not be only known for Hoops in the Sun and known for my dad's name and what that expectation is.
Right. So,
just being a regular person.
Nah, that's fact.
I now I can understand what it is to be a rapper, an entertainer. Like, this is big time. Like, and again, I'm far from that, but it's like it's hard to maintain that when sometimes you're going through a bad day and you got shit going on in real life. It's like, I don't want to talk about Hoops in the Sun. I'm not Joe Cruz. I'm just Joe Cruz right now, and people don't see that. They just see
like you want to say get out my face right now, but you gotta
respectfully. Like, listen, I love you, but I don't have time for this right now. So, but it's hard because I want to be there for everybody. But I think that's my hardest thing too. Is like I can't be there for everybody, and I can't always say yes. I gotta say no.
And you mentioned nothing trumps that logo behind you, right? Other than that, other than the obvious of this being your baby, or in turn this being your dad's baby that you're really taking care of, in essence your brother. But what keeps you going? What motivates you to keep going year after year, even though year after year you're saying, yo, I don't want to do this anymore, I quit, or whatever the case may be. What keeps Joe Cruz Jr. going and motivated to continue?
Funnily enough, I don't think I've hit my peak yet. I want to get, and again, this might change now because COVID, but I just want those athletes to come to the park and impact my kids, man. And I need to get that. Whether it's Kyrie, Durant, LeBron, again, I had a plethora of those. So, with that being said, I want to continue doing that, and I think that's what I'm searching for. And besides that, I want to build upon my program. I want to expand it, and I think that I have an idea that's going to come to fruition next summer, which would have been this summer.
Right.
And I'm glad to stop because it gives me more time to work on that thing. But for me, it's just about and I don't want to sound like this, but it's the high, right? It's like right now I want to go watch basketball. Right now it's probably a game at Dykeman, right, or a game at EDC, that you just want to be around people and be around that crowd and that energy, right? That energy, that jolt energy
Right.
that you play, or a kid you see in your program that's now a high school phenom is like, oh shit, like, oh, this is crazy. You know, I live for those moments, and then, you know, for me, I want to bring the best athletes out because I just feel like Orchard is not getting the respect it needs in terms of a hollow ground. And then I'll tell you one thing. I'm gonna be a little selfish on this. I'm striving to get into NBA 2K or NBA Live as a street ball court. I'm just hardest to get that, and once I get that, that's one thing off my bucket list. My second thing is to bring Kevin Durant and somebody of that caliber, like a Trae Young, to the beach that nobody else had. That's what I'm trying to get. But you know, it all comes with the territory, man, and that's what I strive for. And on top of that, I want my kids to succeed and have a place where they can feel comfortable and safe and sound, and you know, get the best talents out so they can be exposed and get an opportunity to go to school and get a free education.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. Definitely one of my best interviews right here, man. Joe Cruz Jr., ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Where can the people find you? Where can people find Hoops in the Sun? Information about what's going on, information about, you know, post-COVID situations like the summit, things of that nature. Where can the people find you?
Everybody that's on here, if you want to really find me, I'm at Orchard Beach every Saturday and Sunday. Like there's a tournament going on. That is my second home, and God forbid, the one day I gotta go upstairs, I'm gonna be on that beach. I'm gonna be in that water because that's where I belong. That's
Yo, chill out, Joe.
No, I'm just saying, it's being real. Like, I'm being real with you. This is me. That's Joe Cruz, right? But in terms of how to find me and what I'm doing, I'm on Twitter. I am on Instagram at Hoops in the Sun. Facebook, Joe Randy Cruz. My brother is Randy J. Cruz. We are doing a bunch of podcasts with the Commissioner Corner, so stay tuned for that. We will also be doing a summit. We're going to take a weekend off because the weather's bad, so we're going to come back next weekend. And I'll be there. I'll be doing this hopefully throughout the rest of August. I want to do a back-to-school event or Stop the Violence event, hopefully at the end of August, depending if the permit can be released. Other than that, I have plans to do some fall and winter programming, so all my social media handles will give that information out. He said, Joe going to be with diapers in the water.
Yo, heck me what?
That was a long time ago, heck. I tell you about that water change, man. Gotta stop that. They clean the beach up, brother. This is the problem. See, you gotta understand. It's the problem. I gotta change the narrative on it.
You gotta change the narrative, man. Change the narrative.
Change that narrative. So, and then my ultimate goal is to kind of reinvigorate Orchard Beach. The amenities, the landscape, if I can add to it, I want to be that because Orchard Beach is giving me everything I wanted and more after basketball and beyond. You know, meeting people like you, being in situations that I've been a part of my life. I wouldn't get it without basketball, and I wouldn't get it without the beach, and I wouldn't get it without Hoops in the Sun and my dad's legacy. So I'm grateful.
Hey, Joe Cruz said for the first 75 individuals, he's paying for parking for the first 75 next year. Nah, just kidding.
I gotta get some parking passes. I gotta get parking passes. So that's another.
Scratch that from the record. Scratch that from the record. But yo, Joe, man, again, I love you, bro, and I say that sincerely.
Same here.
You know what I'm saying? Keep doing your thing. I'm following you guys, man. If there's anything that you need from myself, I mean that. Reach out, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? But yo, I love you, bro. Do your thing, man. And
I appreciate this opportunity. Everybody on here, please follow All Things Hoops. Shout out to Soul Pack for being a sponsor of this wonderful podcast. By the way, Soul Pack, I'm looking to get a sponsor for my podcast, so talk to me after this. Playing with you. But shout out to Moving Pictures, Ray TV, all everybody that tuned in, Bernie, all my guys. Cal, you're doing a great job, man. I need you,
brother.
Continue doing this. You have no idea what you mean to this culture in this industry. And if you don't hear from nobody, you hear from me. Continue doing it, brother. Your work does not go unrecognized.
Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Cruz Jr. Joe Cruz Jr., everybody.
Yes, sir. Hoops in the Sun.
Bro.
Love you, man. Thank you so much. I mean, it's a lot to me. Thank you.
You already, man. Stay up, man. Stay blessed, and we'll talk soon, all right?
Yes, sir. We'll
Oh,
talk.
now
All right.
I definitely got to talk to you about something else, but we'll talk very soon, bro.
All right. Also, make sure if you can, sometime in August when you get an opportunity, come out to the summit, check it out. As a fan, or if you want to cover, it doesn't matter. Just know that you're always welcome.
Hey, heck, man, if you want to pay for that, man.
Yo,
Heck said I look like a New York. I
crazy.
look too much like a New Yorker, man. I don't know.
Yo, heck is going crazy in this chat, bro.
Yeah, he's
right.
going crazy. He's going wild. But salute to everybody on the check-in. All things hoops, man. We here 4 years in. We going for 4 more. And yeah, we out. All right, y'all.
All right.